Good evening, televiewers. You're welcome to this other edition of Prime on my Media Prime. Today is Tuesday, the 6th of September 2022. This evening, we're going to be looking at age gaps in relationships and marriage. Is it advisable to ask persons who have very varying age gaps to get into love relationship or marriage, and even when they do, what should be done to spice up the relationship so that it works for both partners? And secondly, we are going to be looking at another topic. If God permit, we ask how we should work as man and wife to ensure that we enjoy love at old age. We are discussing this with panelists who are in the house. Apostle Ambe, Valentine, Ngwa, permanent consultant, is in the house. Good evening, Apostle, and welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Leo. Good evening, Cameroonians. Good evening, my co-panelists, and welcome to today's edition. It's been a while. I've not been on air, but thank God by His grace I'm here today. Last week, the traffic was not friendly to me. Stay tuned as we bring you very, very important teachings tonight.
Apostle Lefoh Divine is in the house with us, also all the way from Boya, Southwest Regional Capital. They call him the Love Doctor. Good evening, welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Leo, and good evening, our fellow panelists. Good evening to all the faithful viewers of My Media Prime. Thank you for having me again. It's been an honor all the way from Boya. We are here again today, and it's exciting. We have been doing a lot, so people have been asking what's up, but I think we are always here to help, to bring wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and I am glad to be part of this amazing team that is affecting lives over 40 countries. I think I'm enjoying this. That's apart from those who have been watching on Facebook. So I'm so honored to be part of this, and we are looking forward to a beautiful program. It's a beautiful topic, or the beautiful topics today. So we believe that we are all going to learn, and it's going to be another beautiful one. Thank you.
Okay, we also are in the company of Mrs. Henriette Fortinglet. Good evening, welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Good evening to all my co-panelists there. The senior apostles, it's always a privilege for me to be in their midst. I come here not only to share ideas, sometimes I have to learn from the senior apostles, you know. It's another opportunity for us to share ideas, to give you the little we can as to what concerns your relationships. Stay tuned as we go along. I trust that by the end of this session, you would have learned a lot that will help improve your relationship.
Also, to take part in this edition of the program from Ambe, that Northwest Regional Capital, is going to be Miss Asanji Yvette, who is always adding her voice to whatever discussions are ongoing out here in Douala, in the studios. Live from Fangudon Bange, Koto, Douala, Littoral region. We are going to start with your Apostle Ambe, Valentine. Ngwa, is there an acceptable age difference or range for those who intend to engage in a love relationship or marriage?
Mr. Leo, this is a very, very crucial topic, and I think God will help us to actually give very important information, because I know a lot of persons are hooked now to their screen and they want just the truth from us. Going by the laws of Cameroon, according to the penal codes, the age group for marriage for female is 15 years, and the age group for men is 18 years. So, considering that, you understand that the law permits a distance of at least 3 years. For if the man has to be 18, the woman 15, then there is a gap of 3 years, which means the man is supposed to be older than the woman. But we have diverse cases today. We're going to be talking from two flanks. The case where the woman is older than the man, and the case where the man is older or too older than the woman. And we've seen a lot of challenges with respect to this particular issue of age groups. But you see, love has no age group. Love has no particular age group. A lot of people fall in love with persons who are older than them, others equally fall in love with persons who are younger than them. Let's begin from the angle of the man. It is always advisable for a man to get married to a woman he is older than for at least 10 years. I repeat, for at least 10 years. 10 years being the reason being that 10 years at least, a man of 40 years looks like a woman of 30 years. That's the truth. Women are vulnerable. Women are weak. Women easily wear out because of a lot of responsibilities they carry. For instance, women, every time they give birth to a child, they lose life. And they shed so much life. And much of that weakens their system, makes them look older. That's the more reason why you can see a girl of 30 years with a man of 40 years walking. You may think they are age groups because women rapidly grow. I've seen girls we saw yesterday as young girls, 10, 15 years. When they give birth to a child, you are not afraid to call them Mami John because they have just suddenly evolved into a mother and they have that motherly look. And that is one of the things we're talking about. Secondly, when it comes to the issue of age group, women, I repeat, get married to somebody who's older than you. Because when a man gets married to a woman that is older than him, it becomes very complicated because the woman wears out faster. And because of that wearing out, the man starts yearning for something younger than that woman, and then you see extramarital affair comes in. In rare cases, and by the grace of God, some men survive. But in most cases, men who are married to women who are older than them are bound to cheat because that flair, that attraction, that savor is no longer there. It's wearing away. The wearing and tearing of a woman is so fast. You see stretch marks start developing. The breast that was pointing is falling down. I'll just have to be very, very frank and raw today on this screen. But for those of you who intend to get married, because I see people come and say, I want to marry a girl. The girl is 10 years older than me. What do you think? But I love her, my friend. That thing you are feeling is a sentiment. By the time you finish marrying that woman, and then you see how the beauty vanishes away, then you will come to understand that what you were feeling was an infatuation. It was just a feeling, not actually love. So it's very, very delicate. We have cases like in the far north where a man of about 40 years is giving a girl of 10 years to get married to. That one has a lot of consequences. Most of those young girls get worried and tired when these men get too old for them. They start looking for men at their age, looking for men that fall at the same class with them. You will see a young girl, he cannot see the pa, can no longer meet up sexual demands. The pa is no longer romantic. The pa does not play what young boys play. So she will be forced to join her age group to carry out certain things. Health-wise, there is a disease called fistula. When a child who is very, very young gets married to an elderly person, when they become pregnant at that tender stage, in the course of delivery, there is a tear and a wear in the bladder. We see urine keep on flowing constantly. There was a documentary shown on CRTV once of girls in the far north and most of these Muslim-infested areas where girls are given to marriage at a very tender stage. That fistula is predominantly a disease in those areas, and it affects them terribly. So you see on both sides, when a girl marries a man that is too old, she's bound to look for men of her age. When a woman gets married to a man who she's older than, the man will start looking for a girl younger than the wife. So sometimes a lot of factors contribute for people to get married to those who are older than them. For the sake of the young girl getting married to an elderly person, sometimes it's tradition, it's a custom. But for a young man getting married to an older woman, it's sometimes greed. Okay. Langa money. Okay. Sometimes a woman is rich.
Now, is there an acceptable age gap that must exist between these two? Or you think that love knows no color, age, and everything? You just feel that because there are ladies who tell you that I feel better in the company of elderly men, and there are some young guys who tell you that I feel better in the company of elderly ladies. And
what you're saying is very right. Personally, I've always been somebody who had always liked older ladies. Okay. Yes, personally, I had challenges dealing with girls my age. I was talking from the university days with girls my age, and I had that challenge. It looked like girls my age and below were not really understanding. Maybe, you know, where you feel like you're far ahead of your age. This is how some people feel. But if we have to understand that marriage is not just about a feeling and love, we have talked about maturity, intellectual, financial, and other aspects. If maturity has a lot to play with settling down, then age is a factor to consider. Not because age is the concluding factor, but like we already know, there's some things that will only come about with time. And that's why you see, even legally, like Apostle Ambe has said, even legally in the Cameroon law, 15 for ladies. If you're getting married below 15 in the Cameroon law, your guardians or your parents must sign. And above 18 for a man, your parents or guardians must as well sign. But you see, above 18, the boy can sign with another 18 plus witness. So I think we cannot just automatically say that there is some fixed ages, but we are saying that age is a factor to consider, just like we consider other things. Like we consider physical maturity, financial maturity. I think there are certain maturities or certain things that comes about that has to do with age. So age should be considered because, for example, let me take the case of a 60-year-old man who is getting married to a 21-year-old girl currently. You might think it's just about the difference. The truth is, in our current world, what used to take 5 to 10 years or 15 years, in fact, what used to take a century to changes now between 5 to 10 years. In fact, we have studied, when we are helping and empowering young people, say now that you can learn something in the university, and by the time you're graduating, the knowledge has expired. That means the lifespan of knowledge has reduced. It means that what? There are things that a 60-year-old man will not think that it's a big deal, but it will be a big deal to a 21-year-old girl currently because of their experiences. And you will see sometimes, like I used to say, for example, the man needs to know that some of these girls have certain sexual fantasies that the people of their time might not have imagined or had even phantomed. So these are some things that must be considered. So in all, what we are trying to say is the realities of the age differences, whether it's the man being more older than the woman or the woman being more older than the man, each of those realities have consequences, which we will highlight on this panel. And even as a counselor, when people come with me with such, what we do is we bring the realities of the consequences of such age differences. And if you think you are up to it, so that you don't just say that, you don't just enter into it and after 4, 5 years, 6, 7 years, you discover that that's not what you have wanted. It is always good to understand the consequences of such decision. But the truth is, age difference has repercussions, consequences, and it is a very important factor to take a look at when you want to get married. So it's not like we are saying that it's a bad thing, but we are saying that it should be understood so that you get into it with an understanding. Before we get to Madame Forting, let's get Mrs. Asanji tell us what she thinks about this topic.
Hello, Mr. Leo. Greetings to you, greetings to my co-panelists, special greetings to our televiewers, everyone watching from the Northwest region, special greetings to you all. Mr. Leo, people always contemplate on what is the best age difference that is suitable for marriage. Should I marry someone who is 5 years older than me? What about 10 years? What about 15 years? People keep asking these questions. And sometimes people also ask what if the lady is older than you, maybe in 2 years, in 4 years, in 5 years. So what is the right age difference? Now, most pastors always say that since Adam was the firstborn created, or the first person to be created, the man must be older than the wife. To me, I don't see it as a problem if the woman is older than the husband, or the woman is older than the man, in as much as the woman can submit and respect the man the same way. If she was younger than the man, she would. If she will not allow age to, make her think she's bigger than the man or make her look down on the man, then I don't think it is a problem. Now, we'll talk about the age difference. What is the best age difference? Honestly, there is no particular age difference. But if a lady is older than the man, I would personally encourage that it shouldn't be something, say, above 5 years. It can be 2 years, it can be 3 years, something less than 5 years for ladies, if the lady is the one who is older than the man. Now, the reason being that women naturally grow old. They grow old is easier than men. So if you're already 5 years ahead of him, there's a possibility that you're going to age, you're going to grow old, and your old age will be so visible that the man will still be so young and you will be so old. Okay, now if the woman is above 5 years, I will not encourage it. I will not encourage it. Okay, coming back now to the men. Age difference, everybody have their choice. Some people prefer 5 years, some people prefer 2 years difference, some people prefer even up to 10 years. And then I've also counseled couples that they have up to 25 years difference. 25 years difference. Imagine 25 years difference. The man is in his 50s and a lady is in her early 20s. But one thing about age is that, Mr. Leo, like this my particular couple, if you were to see the man, they tell you he's 50, you will not believe it. He's keeping fit, he's looking young, but there is a problem that I'm going to share when it comes to this wide age difference. But if it's per physical looks, there are people that could keep fit and really look young. But when we come to areas like sex, Mr. Leo, I want to be honest with you, the couples might find a problem there. Now, a lady who is in her early 20s is still very excited about sex. Yes, she is still very excited about sex, and the man has maybe exploited all of that, and sex might mean little or nothing to him. Some of these people just want people that they can age with. Okay, now it's not like he is not going to be sexually capable, no, but he might not be able to satisfy the lady. He might not be able to satisfy the lady, and in such cases, the probability that the lady might want to go out and look for a younger guy who is, who is young and strong and energetic, that probability is there. The probability is there. So in this kind of a case, what will you say? The age difference is really wide. Now, maybe if you're somebody that takes care of yourself medically and all around, you could be fine. Also, you could be able to meet up sexually. But in a case where you must be getting tired as you age on when it comes to sex. And you know that sex is one key area in marriage where it binds couples together, it holds couples together. So if this gap is there, and if sex is affected, when sex is affected sometimes in marriage, every other thing becomes a problem. Sometimes when you hear a man shouting here and there, talking, going or coming down, his problem is not even the fact that they are mismanaging groundnut oil. Groundnut oil is very expensive now. It must not be that they're mismanaging groundnut oil. It must not be that they're wasting food. If you want to check, the problem might just be that the wife is refusing him sex, or bargaining sex, which is wrong, or maybe just giving excuses for not having sex.
Mr. Asanji there. Good evening, Mr. Liu and members of the panel. Pastor Ambe is talking well. I believe that man should be older than the woman. Young men who are getting married to older women, let them tell us their hidden agenda. Dr. Esther Bisson is writing from Kumba. Good evening, Mr. Kum, and all in the studio. I like the topic for today. I'm learning. Livinette is writing from Bamenda. Good evening to you. Livinette, good evening, Mr. Liu, and to the panelists. I wish to find out from Apostle Ambe, based on what he said, advisable for a man to get married to a woman whom he is older than for at least 10 years. I wish to ask, what about the case of someone getting married to his age mate based on the fact that age comes along with maturity? Is it okay? Dinga Jules is writing from Yaoundé. He did not say you should not get married to your age mate. Yes, Mr. San, Miss Fortinglet. You think that we should respect age, or we follow biblically the spirit as the spirit leads?
Actually, Mr. Leo, who you get married to is a choice. Mm-hmm. But considering the fact that one of the reasons why we are here is to make sure we share our views to help the viewers. because there are people out there who are actually listening and waiting to hear, to be guided. I think one of the reasons why we are here is not just to create excitement or all of that, but at least to guide people on the decisions they make in life. Marriage is not a football field, a game, something, I don't know. It's a whole journey. It's a whole journey, and it entails a lot. It's more than just the feelings you have from the beginning. It's more than just the maybe some reasons which are out of the real purpose of marriage. You and I, we know that when we talk of marriage, we are bringing people together, two people to fulfill purpose, to be able to work together to realize something. And that's the reason why the person you might be getting married to might be younger than you or older than you, but provided both of you are supposed to attain that objective in life, well, it is encouraged. For as far as I am concerned, we cancel people on my part, and I will not want to advise a young girl who has not come to a certain level of maturity to want to get married to a man maybe 20, 25 years older than she is, and vice versa. I will always encourage at, say, 10 years gap. It's acceptable somehow. Marriage is an institution where you share, you play together, you befriend your spouse. You should work together, speak and understand each other. You know, this wide range, this wide gap we give in marriage sometimes, I think that most often than not, it's for mostly social reasons than actually the real essence of marriage. When you go deep to verify in the society today, those who are married with very wide differences as far as age is concerned, I think you want to discover that a greater proportion of them, about 80 to 90%, went into those marriages for reasons other than just getting married and being happy.
Love.
Other than love. There is material that is involved, there's social pressure that is involved. It could be because I want to get married to this man, he's 20 years older than me, because he is established, I don't have that time to work on my own, so let me go sit, and he spoils me, he buys me everything I need. It could actually be because I grew up from a family where my parents are like, no, you will get married to that man. And before you see parents who will push their daughter to get married to a man far older than her, please, there is a reason. There is a material reason that is involved in this. Because they are not putting her happiness first, but the thing that this man is a source of income to their family. And that's why they want to encourage her. And there is no mother, there is no father that will want to encourage a son to get married to a woman who is 5 years, 10 years older than him. No matter what that woman is giving that guy. It is rare to find. It is actually very rare to find. So when we want to look at things like this, if you're a woman, you want to accept to get married to a man who is, say, 20 years, 25 years, 30 years older than you, I don't know what you're thinking. Some of the consequences you start getting in this kind of marriage, the first thing is that your opinions will not matter in that marriage. Because you always be looked at as the baby, as a child. There is this motherly kind of, fatherly kind of mindset that a man already has. And to him, like, you are a child, what do you have to say? You have nothing to offer. Sit there. Sit there, I need you in bed, you give me what I want. You may give birth to my children, you cook my food, clean my house, and all of that. I give you all that which you're looking for. And you discover that the satisfaction you have in marriage is not there, because the friendship you're supposed to share with somebody who is about your age group would not happen. It is not there. Please, let's not deceive ourselves. I don't know what I and a 16-year-old man can be discussing right now, and I'm getting so excited about it, and we have a whole journey to live.
Love is blind. No. You are using reason here.
Love is blind, and marriage is the eye opener.
Okay.
Yes, love is blind. From the beginning, it might look exciting. Even if it were material reasons, material reasons that a young lady or a young man found he was accept into that relationship. It's a little, bear in mind that in the long run, right, time will tell. It's going to be marital frustration.
You think a young girl cannot fall in love with an elderly person, very elderly person?
Well, there are exceptional cases, but we need to make them to understand the consequences.
A young man cannot naturally love an elderly lady? It happens now.
It happens. It happens, but it's rare. And when you want to think about love, think about the journey of marriage. There is love because what
in the past we have our fathers who got married to young women. Our mothers now, they were younger. Today we have people getting married to their age mates. Which marriages work out better?
And how did they leave the marriages? They got married to very old men and sat in the house. They come and they push you on the bed. They press you. They impregnate you. You give birth to your child. And they go and bring me water. You kneel down and you do all the things.
The end justifies the means, Madam Fortinglet. Look at the outcome of those marriages and what you want now. Okay, when the guy is going out there, you go out there. Okay, they touch you to do soft touch because you say they come and press you. Okay, now they do soft touch.
And that is the reason why, Mr. Leo, our mothers, most of our mothers remained illiterate. They remained illiterate. They were unproductive. They remained there at the background. They were farmers. They were doing those things that if they had been given that opportunity to grow up and get married to people, to persons they want to get married to, they would have grown beyond what they were. They will not have remained at that peasant level.
There was nothing positive in those marriages.
It was very favorable to the men now. It was very favorable to the man because the man is comfortable that I have a girl, a smart, a young girl that I'm training.
Are we not good products today because our mothers took greater time to nurture us to the men we are today?
Okay,
compared with what we are today, that you have a 6-month-old, you go and keep in one kinder that you are civilized.
Except what you want to tell us now is that because now we are like, okay.
No, I'm cueing you. I'm not saying I'm cueing you.
I know. You understand? And I want to answer. Except the men nowadays who like, okay, no, I don't want my wife to work. Let her just come and get married and sit. I'll do all the work. I'll provide everything for her. I'll raise the children. I'll give everything she wants. Because that is the issue with this.
No, I want to beg to disagree. Even if the man is as rich as Elon Musk, a woman has a potential to give to humanity, not money. And if that service is not given, there's going to be a vacuum. For instance, you're a banker. The service you are rendering in a bank is far beyond the money you get. The woman is not sent to the world just to give money. She has an ability that the world is in need of, which if she is not there, there's going to be a vacuum. So whether you have all the money, you have no right to keep a woman in the house.
The problem with African, the problem with African generally is we think only ending with the family.
Yes.
And the more we think and end only with that, you hear someone say, many girls have gotten married to men because in their minds they want to take care of their mother and their father. You see, it's microscopic view of life. Her work, for example, as a banker, she's not just serving her family. She's serving the world.
Okay, let her learn. You people, why are you?
No, I was cleaner.
Good. Learn.
That is the truth. We are getting back to the fact that part of, or most of the times when you look at these relationships with very huge age gaps, most of them, 80 to 90%, are for social reasons. And they are not natural.
Okay.
But the consequences come with time and when there is pressure. When pressure comes, that's when we'll understand if there was actually some natural feeling for that person or it was material feelings or whatever.
Apostle Ambe, now let us look at these very wide age gaps. Say 20, 25, a man and a lady and vice versa. Are there some dangers in it?
So many dangers.
Okay.
If a man gets married to a woman that he's older than for about 20 years, it's dangerous. I'm going to give at least 3 or 4 reasons.
Okay.
The first thing is that the gap between the man and the woman is that they belong to 2 different generations. What that man's generation believes is not what this young girl's generation believes.
Yeah.
The peer pressure of her generation will be in demand of her time, her skill, her beauty. While that man is taking the girl to his generation, which has passed, and the girl is not used to. So there is a clash of generation. Like today, President Pobia made it and said, Generation Android. you will understand that it's a complete different generation.
Yeah.
Now, somebody who was born out of generation Android gets married to a girl in generation Android, then the girl spends all her time on the phone, chatting, looking how young boys and girls of her age are interacting, socializing. Then one part is at one corner there, who wants to be talking the dialect, take you to the village to go and drink palm wine for holidays, and the girl sees her friends interacting. She would definitely have a clash with the person because two generations are trying to come together that they are not used to each other. That's the first thing. Number two, the gap difference of about 20 years. As the days go by, the strength of a man, who you and I know, fails when he grows older. And when it comes to the issue of sex, you need physical energy to make love very well. When a girl, for instance, is, they say, 30 years, and the man is 50 years, you will realize that the girl has energy in bed, and the man does not have that energy, except he will be taking pills or other materials. You will discover that because of that inability to, measure up in bed, there's going to be a hunger and a yearning outside. She will start going for people who can actually meet her demand. And you know very well that no matter the color, whether black, white, Indian, indigo, a woman, when is properly satisfied, reasons towards the direction where her satisfaction is coming from. Whether if she's married here and her satisfaction comes from Boya, she'll be looking at Boya. And that's the reason why most of the young girls who marry older persons use those older persons as a means of collecting money to pay the younger boys that services them very well. You are just like a bank account or an ATM account where he draws money from to pay the young guy. That satisfies her very well in bed. You are going to have children that are not your children. You have to father children that are not, because when she goes and becomes pregnant, she will come and carry your bag. You will climb that night thinking that you are the father, not knowing that the foundation of that child is coming from somewhere else. Clash of generation, clash of strength in bed. Number three, different mindset and philosophies. A man who is about 60 years has a different mindset with a girl of about 40 years. That girl has a lot of dreams to accomplish. The man is almost concluding his dreams. A man who is at 60 is rounding up a diplomat. You have to put on gown or you put on coat. This
are you not the one who said here that women grow older than men?
They grow old. They fix it, build bodily, Mr. Leo. I say bodily, body,
the mothers of the nation.
Body, they wear out.
The mothers of the nation.
Now, the looks, they can have resemblance because the woman wears out faster, but the mindset is different. That's what I'm trying to communicate here. For instance, a girl that lives in university with me and is married to a man of 60 years old may find it difficult to keep that company. May find it difficult. If Pat takes her to an outing and she's sitting in the midst of all those 60, 65-year-old people, what will she communicate there? We have what we say in our age group.
Because she's married to Pa, everybody has to respect. They see her from Pa's perspective.
They will respect her from Pa's perspective. But is she living the life of her age group? That's the problem. In Nigeria, in particular communities, there is an age group. When people travel out of the country, they tell that this age group is coming back to do something. Okay. Age group matters.
Okay, these are some of the dangers of engaging in this. But do people take time? You counsel them. Do you take time to explain to them that, are you ready for this?
Like Madam Fortigler said, most people don't take time to look at what counts. You see, for example, there are older men that just want a girl that looks good on their posters, the card. So many people want a girl that they believe they can feel fatherly, a girl who will be like, you can...
A decorating factor.
Yes. And unfortunately, our children of nowadays have more freedom mindset than the mothers of old.
Of course.
And so most people want this decor in the house, but the average girl will go out and be bombarded with women empowerment strategies, women empowerment theories. And then all of a sudden you start saying, the girl don't start strong hate.
Yeah.
You see, when they come, most of the times, like in my opening statement I said, is there an acceptable age? I will not come here to talk like some divine rule was placed on us and we saw that it is
This
7
age,
years
yeah.
or not, or 6 years or not. But wisdom demands that there are dispensations, there are age groups, there are mindsets that also comes with time. In fact, the way my daughter will be thinking is totally different from the way people of my age are thinking.
Of course.
But the funny thing is that do you know that in the next 10 to 15 to 20 years, let me say the next 20, 21 years, I can get married to my daughter.
Our ideas will be a cake.
Yes, people get married to people they can literally give birth to.
Of course.
Yes, I've seen people, men who get married to their sons' classmates, their sons' girlfriends,
Yes.
or all of this. People who are even the age of their children. So I remember one time somebody said the major challenge is when this love emotion is hitting their head. Anytime it's like a child that wants to buy a bicycle. No, go road there. Yes. No, come over here. Yes. I know. You know, when somebody wants something, that's why I keep telling a lot of girls, for example, as we want to marry, start your vision. Don't just explain your vision to the man you want to marry. Because when a man loves you, anything you talk correct. It's like this. I want to be like this, so I'll be traveling with my music. Yes. When I marry you, anything I want go, you go. Until you enter the house, and then you want to come out. You make some call. The man say, "Now that it's my manager. Which manager? That my manager who is under my music. He don't marry. How will it be?" Then you start feeling uncomfortable. They said, "You don't go no side." You see, it is easy to accept things when you're not in the home. But when you're in the home, it becomes complicated. When these people come to us, sometimes we say, look at it. They'll be like, yes. But we take our time. I want to insist here. What we are trying to pass across here is that the implications are very important. See marriage like a journey. Or if you see marriage like a journey, not just the event of the wedding, and just that social status of, oh wow, it was beautiful, oh wow, it was great. Even the man, the chief, the Nigerian, I forgot who got married to the actress Regina Daniels. We saw that he finally went for another lady that was younger than Regina Daniels, and he was even bringing an issue. Even the Regina Daniels hasn't having issues with. So you went to an 18, or is it 18 or 19? You see, it's possible, yes. But you see, what are the implications? But we have also seen that because of
what is the implication there? Why related? The guy is enjoying it.
No, we are not saying that it's impossible.
The Regina Daniels complained to you.
No, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. Yes, I know, and they are very well. He never complicate the marriage. We are just saying that they should understand what it is. For example, Regina Daniels knew what she was getting into. This man is a number. I'm coming into this man, and the man did not say that that's the end. You see, it becomes it makes it different when you know what you are getting into. Yes, from what we heard, the man did not complicate it. I like you, I want to marry you, and she was into it. And look at it. Look, Mr. Leo, I believe even the Bible says we know love, we don't feel love. If there is an understanding, if there's a knowledge, it makes a difference. People will come, we tell them. For example, you will realize that the more you're going up, your sexual drive is dropping. As a man, even the Bible describes Abraham. That in fact, the Bible says that Abraham was not able to do anything again. That in fact, Sarah could not even feel sexual appetite again. The Bible describes it like that. So you begin to see it goes with age. And that's why you see people will go and carry small girl and come and give here and all of this. So there is a complication in all of that. So we will explain. You hear the girls. What was these things? It's not a joke. When you say, oh, harder. And we have seen a lot of old men go and collapse in a girl's room that they were doing harder, and their heart fails. It's real. But a young boy will do harder and harder. Especially the boy did not do anything in the afternoon. He had been preparing for that match. Harder, and broke the house. And you want to see the get up from the house. Today, sex starts in the kitchen, ends in the room, in the barroom, in all of this. But these people don't know some of these things. So people still believe, even when we counsel them, that it lies down.
Yeah, the danger here is that one partner may not be able to satisfy.
Yes.
The other.
Which is very delicate.
It is very delicate. And they must know that this is not a one-time thing. We are talking about a lifetime. You understand? There are some men that date girls today, and the girls will tell you, I like that man because he give me body. When he come in, now 2 minutes, he just can lie down. And we have heard these things. These are testimonies we are getting.
Mr. Lewis, excuse me.
Yes.
Just excuse me.
Okay.
We just mentioned a case here about Regina Daniel, and we're like, no, they are fine. She's not complaining. You know why she's not complaining? Because everything still sounds very good. The money is still there. Everything is there. I said something here. Time and pressure.
Madam Fortier, I've not tried to be just waited this, but I say this: most of this age, I agree with you on one thing, that most of this age gap differences, it's always have a lot of social.
Anyway, she's talking like a woman. They have the experience. Yeah.
Yeah, social implications now.
That's the truth.
Is there experiences?
In most of those cases, we just cited a case which it might be different, but in most of those cases, and from experience, watch out when pressure comes. Then we'll see whether love was actually involved. If actually we got married to stay, or it's because something brought us inside, or it's because of social reasons.
Okay.
That's actually what I'm
let me
trying
take
to
two
point out.
messages. Mr. Liu, I have a couple in my neighborhood where the husband calls the wife. She calls him sir. The age difference is about 25 years. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu and the panelists. Very educating program. Lista Montana is writing from Yaoundé. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Please, I wish to find out from Apostle Ambe if age matters in love. Apostle Ambe has said it. Can you just follow the link? Good evening, Mr. Liu. We live in a generation where everyone's blood is boiling. Our daddy married a beautiful young girl, and after how many years they lived in peace. Marriage is understanding, not age, not sex, not money, because even the so-called Regina Daniel is threatening to leave her husband unless he legally marries her so she can benefit from the wealth. Okay? Good evening, Mr. Liu. Extend my greetings to Mr. Lefoh Divine. It's Apostle Lefoh Divine. He has received your greetings. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Good topic. Marrying a woman that is older than a man, to me, is a big no. To me, a man should be older than the woman for at least 10 to 15 years. My husband passed me for 15 years old. I have never admired a young guy. Immaculate is writing from Bamenda. Good evening, Mr. Leonard and panelists. Special greetings to Apostle Ambe. Please let the panelists just expose the disadvantages or advantages of man getting married to a woman older than him, or a woman getting married to a man older than her. They should not say they can't advise a woman to marry a man older than her, or a man to marry a woman older than him. Let the man or the woman make his or her choice based on their disadvantages that have been exposed. The job, okay? Elijah Sonka is writing from Boom Subdivision. Okay, I'm sure Boom should be in Boyo. Good evening, Mr. Leo. And good evening to all the panelists. Any relationship where there is money, as in enough money, there is happiness no matter the age. Even in relationships where the age gap is supposedly reasonable, unhappiness reigns. Okay? Yes, that is one aspect we have to look at. Good evening. This topic is a little more complicated because there is actually no real age difference between everybody has his or her own desires on this aspect. I have found someone you really cling to, you won't hesitate to cement that relationship by marriage. Maturity is relative, and it's more than just counting years. If you both can have that bond and understanding, then it's okay. Making it work is really about having enough bond in common and to learn each other's differences and views. Partnership, think about your future goals. People are expressing their thoughts on this topic. Thank you for participating, especially those of you who are writing. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm learning a lot from the program. I'm watching you all from Small Babanki. Good evening to you. Small Babanki, that is
yes,
the village of Pastor Chris and Prof. Mark Anthony. Okay. Good evening to you people in the studio. When I was growing, I used to think that getting married to a young lady by an aged man was wrong. But when I came to discover that even prophets in the Bible did the same by getting married to women younger than them, I then saw that there is nothing wrong with that so far as a girl is already mature for marriage. Bob is writing from Bali. Good evening to you, Bob. Good evening to everyone in the studio. I'm enjoying the program and I'm blessed. Please, I wish to ask about people who are at the same age range. Madam Felicia is writing from Tico. Good evening, Mr. Liu, and to you all in the studio. The sound system is not good for us here in Fundong. Good evening to all of you watching us from Boyu Division, Fundong, Belu, Njinikom, and other communities around there. Let's take another listen to Mr. Asanji Yvette coming from Bamenda, Northwest Regional Capital.
Mr. Leo, this age difference is a serious thing. I would encourage 5 years, 10 years is not bad. Yes, I would personally encourage. The people have what they want. People have what they like. If you want 5 years, it's fine. If you want 10 years, it's still equally fine. Now the difference is when a man is older, like I said, women get old quickly. So if the man is, older, maybe 5 years or 10 years difference, the probability that they might be aging, looking old together is there. Now, in that kind of a case, there's no wide difference. But if one is completely too young and one is completely too old, there will be a problem. I counsel a couple, and yes, of course, the pa is in his surely 60s, and the wife is surely still in her 30s or so, or 35 or so, maybe getting to 40s. And sometimes, or not sometimes, actually, when women reach getting to the stage of menopause, they are even more sexually active. So, Pa will complain that old prick is not satisfying her. Yeah, she's looking for young pricks. She's looking for young pricks, and so my old prick can't satisfy her, and it's really stressing Pa up because she's not even there to take care of Pa. With the aging coming in, with sicknesses left and right, you need to be stable to take care of him. So with that age difference, sometimes there'll be a lot of problems health-wise. When people grow old, there's some things about them that begin to, their bodies are not the same. So sicknesses, small sicknesses here and there, and then they will need somebody that will constantly take care of them. And then most often now, these young girls, they will be too young and they will not have time. What if the lady is still excited about life? She will not have time. And so, like the case I'm talking about, Pa will have to cook his food by himself, even after he has a young wife at home. Now, the young wife is pursuing career. Yes, young wife is pursuing career, while Pa is home on retirement. So you can see that she goes out, she dresses good, goes out, have fun. Sometimes she's traveling for seminars, she's doing this way, and Pa is just held like he's in bondage. So if we want to talk about age difference, Mr. Leo, I want to say that it depends on individuals, but choose what you think is suitable for you. And just to conclude, Mr. Leo, if you happen to see that your choice is a bit wide, also think of the consequences. Think of the differences in activities that people will be having. Check of the differences in health. Think of the differences in maybe food. Now people age and they don't eat salt, they don't eat this. So there are a lot of complications that come in. It's better that at one moment the husband and the wife should be at the same stage where both of them are not eating salt or both of them are not eating Maggi, than when one is eating Maggi and the other person is not eating Maggi because maybe they have age and their health is not the same. So if the age difference is just say 5-10 years, I don't think there's a problem with that, but there might be a problem if it goes beyond that. And even as counselors, we will not stop you from marrying someone who is far older than you, but we will just help you understand the consequences or what might probably happen in the future. So you should be ready for it. So choose wisely. If you're choosing a spouse, choose wisely. If she's older than you, I would advise don't go for age older than 5 years when it comes to the females. If it's a man that is older, I still encourage between 10 years below. But if you see that you can live with them happily, because some people really look young. At the end of it all, some people are really old, but they really look young. Age-wise, they are old, but they look younger. So we cannot really just conclude on all of this. And then technology has also helped to improve people's health. You know, now there are things that you can eat and it keeps you more stronger. There are things that you can drink, it keeps you more younger. All of those things that you can, you know, apply on your body and it makes you look younger. So all of these are taken into consideration, but at the end of the day, be rest assured that if the age difference is too wide, even the taste for things will be different. Taste what you want in life at that moment might be different from what the other person wants. Taste in cooking, food will be different. Taste in dressing, all of those things will be different. And so it can altogether affect marriage. It can altogether affect your marriage and bring you unnecessary problems. So if you're choosing, choose wisely. And I think I wish you the best in making your choice. Thank
you. Thank you. I join you to wish the best to those who are yet to make their choices as far as their future spouse is concerned. There is this concept of gold digging for men and for women. Gold digging. You get married to an elderly person, they say you bought a spade to come and dig gold. You get married to an elderly woman, they say this guy want to go gold dig. Is it true?
There is a description for a man that gets married to an elderly woman who is rich. They call gigolo. There is a description for a man who is rich. They call gold digger.
Okay.
Those adjectives actually speak a lot because there is a notion that it is abnormal for you to get married to somebody who is that too old. How can a young girl who is about to begin her life get married to somebody who is concluding his life? What vision, what dreams, what goals do they want to achieve as individuals? Because I think people get married for so many reasons, but primarily is to build a family, build a future, build a destiny.
Yeah, but now, this is a tag that is given to, this is a tag that is given to a young girl who may necessarily not have wanted to get married to an elderly, very rich guy. But this guy is dying for the girl, goes on his knees. Maybe the young girl is his dream woman. Should this man actually be denied what he desires in this name of a tagging? There is a guy who sees in an elderly lady the vision bearer of what I aspire for in my life. Are we not trying to tag people subjectively for what is not their intention?
At the end of the day, you will definitely do what you think is good for you. You will not be moved by what people call you.
That's it.
That's one thing that's very certain. We are trying to treat a topic here, and within this topic there are rules and there are exceptions.
Okay.
And if there are exceptions, it's obvious there are persons who can genuinely be in love with elderly persons.
So young girls, don't say, okay, they'll call me gold digger, young boy. No.
For instance, it's even advantageous for a lady who is younger to get married to an elderly person. She has a possibility of delivering her own children because men don't enter menopause.
Okay.
But for a young man pursuing a woman that cannot produce a next generation for you, it's an error of monumental proportion because women enter menopause. So it becomes very delicate when a young person gets married to a woman about 55 years, whom you know can no longer deliver you children again. Means you have no legacy to leave behind. But a man at the age of 60, 70 can still impregnate a girl of 20 years. Abraham, we know of a certain, at his old age, gave birth to 6 other children with Keturah. But after Sarah, by miracle, got a child for Isaac, who was Isaac, that was the end. So when we want to put it on a scale, if we want to analyze it from an advantageous and disadvantageous point of view, it means the advantageous side is when an elderly man gets married to a younger person. For instance, Ned Noko is older than Regina Daniel for years. Many years. But she has 2 kids already. Regina Daniel has left a legacy by giving birth to children. And even though the man she got married to is older than her very much. Coming back on the other side, our brother Macron in France. has gotten married to a woman who is not menopause, is menopause. So Macron has no legacy to leave behind as a child because that woman can never conceive. In a case like that, do you think Macron will be faithful to that woman in the house? Wouldn't he go out on the ground and impregnate a young girl because
Sarah was older than Macron's wife.
Sarah was older than Macron's wife. It was a special miracle.
Miracles happen.
Yeah. We are trusting over that miracle. We are still trusting over that miracle. So what I'm trying to say here is this. If we have to permit or consider the male factor getting married to a younger girl is more advantageous than a younger man getting married to an elderly woman. Okay. I'll give you 2 instances of Regina Daniel, our present day history, and Macron, which is the present day history. That's to let you understand that it is advantageous for a young girl. Number 2, men can equally take energetic supplements to be strong in bed, no matter their age. We used to say that bitter cola is a aphrodisiac for men. What is the aphrodisiac of a woman? You who is gingering yourself to get high, have you also asked if the woman is also gingering herself to meet your highness?
Oh God. I met with some girls on Saturday. If I tell you the things I learned, they have so many stuff they are taking now. They call it sweetener, this and that and that.
That make
lots,
it sweet.
Lots. Women are also working on them. They will soon overtake us.
What I'm trying to ask is that we say bitter cola is an aphrodisiac for men. It gingers men. It stirs them up. You, the man who is taking your bitter cola and your Guinness and your Viagra, high, topping yourself very strong to have sex. Have you asked if the woman also?
I said, man of God, very soon women will overtake us. You need to sit with them and hear. There are things that they are taking now.
Okay, now good. That is good. A man can strengthen himself to give birth to a child, not to have sex.
Okay. Yes, but now in this situation, how do we make these things work? In the case where we have this unbalanced situation, but many persons are asking the question as to whether age-mates should not get married.
They should.
They should. Please.
They should.
They should.
They should. Age-mates should get married. Why not? If you are to get married, it's possible to get married to somebody who is far older than you, why not your age mate? Provided you share the same dreams and the same visions, and you think that you're compatible, you think that person can be your life partner, you can stay together, why not?
But are we saying that at this level there are also no dangers, man of God?
There are always dangers.
Because we'll be giving
at
danger.
every level there are dangers. Because you can always make mistakes. Not because
we'll talk about minimizing risk.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not because this person is your age mate that you think that there are no dangers. It's even more dangerous.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of competition at that level. It's really extremely dangerous because if you are not careful, competition sets in because we are age mates, you can talk and I talk. Or maybe I saw you, we were in the same class or something, we grew up together, or you're not older than me, you know.
I even have 7 O levels, you have the 5.
I'm better off, I could be better off in one thing than you are. So yeah, like unlike you look at those, maybe the relationships with gaps, with age gaps, there's always that tendency that, oh, because he's older than me, there's this big brother, big sister kind of, you're looking at the age first. So that respect come into play. It's even more delicate when it's at the same level. But then it needs people who have actually educated themselves so well in the area of marriage and understand. That's why we are saying that marriage is far beyond just being in love and want to stay in a house with somebody. There is so much you have to learn about marriage. Learning about yourself, learning about your spouse, learning about the institution of marriage, your role in that house, your role as a husband, your role as a wife, and you stay within your limit. You do not trespass before you can have a very joyful marriage if only you understand that. And so that no matter the age limit, whether you are the same level or not, there are always challenges and there are always beautiful events. Why not?
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu and members of the panel. What a situation where both partners are of the same age. Stanley is writing from Bambili. She just spoke about that now. Good evening. What if the man is older for 10 years and your family does not want? Glory is writing from Bamenda. I'm sure you've had the answer already. Good evening, Mr. Leo. This is Larissa from Bamenda speaking. I don't think age is a great factor. Once two people with the interest of marrying each other come together simply means they have reached a level where they can tolerate each other's flaws. Greetings to you all in the studio. This is Peter Thames from China. A factor that does impact on the relationship outcomes of age gap couples is their perceptions of social disapproval. That is, if people in age gap couples believe their family, friends, and wider community disapprove of their union, then relationship commitment decreases and the risk of breakup increases. These effects appears to apply to heterosexual and same-sex couples. So the negative outcomes of age gap couples seem to reside not in problems within the couple, but in pressures and judgments from the outside world that is tagging. Another factor that play may have to do with the stage of life each partner is experiencing. For instance, a 10-year gap between a 20-year-old and a 30-year-old may bring up different challenges and issues than for a 10-year gap where one partner is 53 and the other is 63. This is because our lives are made up of different stages, and each stage consists of particular life task we need to master, and we give priority to the mastery of different tasks during these distinct stages of our lives. So when each member of a couple straddles a different life stage, it may be difficult for the couple to reconcile each other's differing life needs and goals. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I like the topic of today. Hello. Good evening, sir. Please give me Apostle Ambe's number. I like what you people are talking about marriage. Good evening from Tokyo, Mr. Liu and the entire panel. Special greetings to my man, Apostle. We are here as usual to learn. It's an interesting topic. Please for Apostle Ambe's number. By the way, what can we say about President Macron's case? Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu, everybody in the studio. I love the topic because it's very timely. Please, I'm 45 years old and I want to get married, but I don't know age difference of wife to choose. Charlie is writing from Kumba. The woman you will love, marry her. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I prefer the man to be older than the wife for at least 10 years. This will make the man pet his wife. Most troublesome marriages are due to the fact that the age difference is very slim. It is Janet writing from Kumba. Good evening, Mr. Liu. It's Edwin writing from Bomenda. Please, can Apostle Ambe help me in this? I have a lady who has already given birth to 3 children out of wedlock and is ready to get married to me. Is it proper for me to go in? Okay, you can call Apostle Ambe and discuss that behind you. Good evening to you all. Appreciate your endeavors for educating the society. In my opinion, I prefer a man to be older than a woman for an age range of 10 years for maturity reason, as a man should be capable of withstanding the changes as the head of the family. Remain blessed. Thanks. Brother Henry is writing from Bamenda. Mr. Liu, this is Tamon Stephen from Ghana. Techimen, I think that if the woman is older than her husband and could be submissive to the husband, no problem. But the truth is, the man should be older than the woman, not exceeding 10 years. So there could be respect in relationship, okay? Many persons are going for 10 years difference. Assume you meet your old schoolmate, a lady called Maggie, at a club, and you are both drunk. Then you will vibe and you offer to drop her home. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Very wonderful program. To me, age is not an issue. Understand each other is the principal thing. Mary is writing from Moyuka. Good evening to you, Mr. Liu. To me, age is just a number. I think all matters is love in this whole issue. Calista is writing from Douala. Roderick from Yaoundé says, good evening, Mr. Leo, and to everyone in the studio. Talking about this issue, please ask Apostle Ambe, what about people like us who believe we are going to make money first before getting married? What advice will you give us? Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu. It's Malcolm from Fundong. I think the man should be ahead of the woman with at least 3 years and at most 5 years, because women grow faster than the men. Good evening, Mr. Liu and all the panelists. To me, a man should be older than a woman, but the gap should not be too wide. A man should be at most 10 or 5 years older. You know, by nature, as you get older, your sexual drive decreases. But if the girl is still too young, small boys will be helping you to do the job. Sheila is writing from Boya. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I know a man of 47, a lady at 33. How is that gap? I wish my apostle Ambe to talk to on it. Mr. Maurice is writing from Aboya. Mr. Maurice, call Apostle Ambe and talk to him. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I enjoyed the program. For age difference should be between 5 years difference. For the man, Mr. Joel is writing from Abamenda. Now, how do we get these relationships to work? In the case where we have very wide age,
I think for these wide ranges to work, first of all, like what we have said here, the consequences and implications must be laid bare. The truth is, people who are in love cannot trust themselves in certain things. And that's why they need counselors, they need neutral parties who does not have, somebody who does not have any, not only emotional, sometimes family accepts something because of the social benefits, interest. So sometimes you need somebody who does not have an interest. That means somebody, sometimes parents have accepted something because they saw it like their way out of poverty. I saw it like a way of a new social status. So I think they need neutral counselors. You need to come to some of us to help explain these things, and you know exactly what you are getting into. Secondly, you should already know that once somebody is above you 10 years, whether you be it a man or a woman, that's another generation. That's why you see we keep circling around 10 years. Generally, a generation is about 10 years. So above 10 years, you are touching a new generation. You should know that there's more flexibility and adaptability required to be able to keep. It's not impossible, but know that there's an extra effort that must be put in place, just like how a man who is getting married to a young girl who needs a lot of harder, you know that there's an extra effort that you will need to put in to be able to meet her sexual demands. So I think there is a need for coaching, there's a need for counseling, there's a need for accepting reality, not just going by feelings. There's a need for more flexibility. That means you are more flexible, because we have discovered that marriage has finally boiled down to how flexible you can be in the relationship. There will be a need for more flexibility, adaptability, and it must come from both ends. Because even the lady, it's not only the man who will need to adapt, even the lady will need to know that these are some of the repercussions, these are some of the things that comes into play, and you are able to embrace it. And then because even this communication, I keep saying, oh, all that matters is communication, all that matters is communication. Let me tell you, even communication has dispensations. There's a communication of an age group. There's something that you will say, and a man of a certain age will see like an insult, which in our generation is not an insult. I remember I went somewhere and I greeted somebody when I was in secondary school. I went somewhere during holiday class and I greeted somebody, and when the man asked me, I said, yeah. They almost slapped my head off. They said, what is yeah? What is yeah? Answer me yes. You know, that person, now yeah has become a common language of our, but some elderly people did not understand it then. So you will discover that even communication, so you will discover that effort must be put in communication, in adapting to that lifestyle. So you must know that there's an extra effort when that gap is large, and you must try to put in that effort to be able to maintain that home. If not, you are going to have so many challenges. And the best thing is have a counselor, have a coach, have somebody who can walk you through. And that's why some of us are here. And we have helped a lot of people. And I can tell you, there are a lot of people who are benefiting from this vast bundle of knowledge which we are giving out.
Okay. Yes, sir. How do we make things work, especially for the ladies who are married to very elderly men?
Yeah, Mr. Liu, for such cases, I want to say that there's a lot of sacrifice that is needed, is required to make it work. Before I get to that, I just want to get back to part of the the consequences, the repercussions, some of the negative repercussions, what awaits you, or some of the things that might be a problem to you tomorrow if you actually get married. I want to look at a case where a young girl is getting married to a man who's extremely older than her. You as a lady, one of the things you should be expecting is that if he came to get married to you, there is a tendency that you might be having he might be taking another wife, a second and a third and a fourth. So if you are comfortable with having a polygamous marriage, accepting him getting married to other women, then you can go ahead and accept such a relationship. And for a man, be rest assured that the risk you might run in future is that this girl might end up being a thorn to your flesh. I'm talking from experience, things we see in the field. Actually, there is this situation which I happen to have come across of a man who got married to a lady. They have an age gap of about 45 years, 43 to 45 years. Yeah.
The village?
No, in Douala, here in town, actually. Yeah, they're in town.
As a man, the man could be 60 something.
The man is 70. He's in his 70s, and the lady is 28. Yes. And actually, the lady, because she was groomed and trained that it's money, it's all about money, they flashed her with so much cash, so she's already so used to it, and it got to a point where she discovered that this man, like we have been highlighting, Apostle said, is not of the same class, like they don't reason alike. She likes going to clubs, the man does not like going to clubs. The man like carrying her to village meetings, to cultural events, but she likes clubbing and all of that. And then it comes to a situation where the man's best friend, old as the man, in his 70s as well, starts admiring this girl and discovers that this girl likes clubbing and promises this girl that I will take you to club, I will even open a club for you, you know. And then it got to a point where this girl had to go as far as poisoning her husband because they want him off the picture so that she can get along with the other man, because the other man is as rich as the husband is too, but now very flexible and sociable. So the sacrifice that is the fact that this man did not see that this girl, even though she's my wife, we are not the same, we are not of the same age group. She likes going to the club. Maybe I should accompany her to the club to make her happy, to give her the comfort she needs. Maybe I should accompany her to the pool, but you have subjected her to accept your own lifestyle and you don't want to accept. So you see how it places his life at risk, and thank God for fast intervention that he did not die, but he actually went through a lot in the process. So men who are accepting, who are getting that far, should think about those kind of repercussions. And if you are accepting it, be ready to give in a lot of sacrifice. You, the woman as well, be ready to accept the man. If you can accept a man 40 years, 30 years older than you to get married, then be ready to accept. If they say that it is Njangi, it's only traditional meetings, wear only tie, only wrapper, be respectful, submissive, and do that because that is your choice. That's what you have accepted to.
Okay.
If that marriage must work, because if one person would not want to make the other happy, then it would not work.
Okay. It is so funny how you people have reduced average lifespan to 60. My grandfather used to be very potent at 75. My dad had his last child at 74 with a girl of 25, and they were fine. On the other hand, a lot of men in their 20s and 30s are sexually so weak, they have to go for pills too. So many arguments put forth should be put into perspective. One last thing. The lady owe apologies to farmers for giving the impression farmers are the low class of the society. Our society is suffering from this view. This is Ambe writing from Douala, not an apostle. Okay. Good evening to you, Ambe, and thank you for that contribution. This one, Shella Mbo, says that, good evening to the panel of the house. Yes, there should be age gaps between 5 to 7. Any man marrying a woman older than him, there is no love between those couples. Since we differ in life, a prayer is the key to know what God wants us concerning marriage. The key in marriage is peace of mind and happiness. Please, brothers, choose very well and be happy. I'm learning a lot. Bo Shella Getchop, writing from Boya. Most men marrying a woman older than them, he is running expenses and is from the devil's mindset to destroy the beauty in marriage. Good evening to you, Sheila. Mr. Liu, good evening. I'm 25 and my guy is 56. Is it too bad? Nancy is writing. How can I get to a counselor? Call Apostle Ambe. See, you're 25 and your guy is 56. You guys will discuss and you can understand yourselves. Yeah. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I prefer a man to be older than the woman for at least 10 years. Melissa is writing from Bamenda. Good evening, Mr. Liu and your team. Your programs are always inspiring. I'm learning a lot. Mr. and Mrs. Ndosak Silvanus writing from Kum, Small London. That is before Bamenda. Good evening, my greetings to you all in the studio. The topic is quite interesting for me. I think in as much as there is money to make the marriage stronger, I don't think age should be a problem. Cliff is writing from Bamenda, that's upstation. And again, please, I have a question not too far from the topic. What are the things that makes marriage relationships stronger? Not looking at age, okay? Good evening, Mr. Kum and Panelists. When you talk of marriage, you forget about love. A relationship that is built on love, age is just a number. The two partners will certainly want to please each other when there is love. To me, age is not a problem in marriage. T. Richard, writing from Bonaberry, Douala. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I love this topic so much. A pastor visited us and said this: if you want to marry a woman you are 10 years older than, you should be ready to run with her as they see, and that is one of my problems in marriage. My husband is 10 years older than me and he doesn't like outing. I like going out. What do I do? I'm writing from Kribi, exactly what Madame Fotingle is saying out here. Good evening, sir. It is Vice Ngwa Okoye. I love your program. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Your program is interesting. A man should never get married to an older woman because of money. If he did so, he will become a slave to that woman. Patience Langwe is writing from Mutengene. Okay, Patience, good evening to you. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I agree with Apostle Lefoh. Life in courtship is different from marriage life. Apostle speaks eloquently and with no bias. Kudos to the lady in the studio. She speaks white and not sugarcoating. Those are the realities some people don't accept. Money keeps most women in marriage. That's the truth. Okay, Noah Cosmos is writing from Bamenda. Apostle Ambe, Valentine, Ngwa. Some people think that with money, we can also, money can spice such a relationship. And also are writing that even in poverty, with a person of your same age, things will not be sweetened.
We cannot downplay the role of money in any relationship, whether in Africa, Europe, Asia, and anywhere else on earth. Mm-hmm. Money plays a very pivotal role in every relationship. Money can buy people's conscience. Money can buy love. But money cannot sustain love.
Okay.
Money cannot maintain love. And this is where we have a very serious problem. And if at all we want to think that it is money that fixes or keeps relationships, then we are making a mistake of the year. Money is an added factor, but not the root for relationships. What keeps people going together is their mindset. If they're able to reason together, to go towards the same direction, they're able to accommodate each and everyone's temperament. If you are not able to accommodate these things I've mentioned, even if the man is as rich as Bill Gates, one day you will submit a divorce letter like Melinda Gates. It's so unfortunate that most of the persons who are divorcing on earth today are the richest of persons. Jonathan Bynum got married to Bishop Thomas Weeks. Their cake, wedding cake, almost touched the roof of Wall Street Hall in America. That marriage did not last 1 year. It collapsed. I'm talking about clergies, anointed, who know God's word. They know how to pray. They know how to fast. They know how to bind evil spirits. The wedding gown of Janita Bynum was something else. There were about 16 people who dressed with wedding gowns and suits to accompany them before they came in. There were about 14 little children who dressed as also little bride and groom that came in. Imagine the amount of money invested in that wedding and it crashed. We have had several marriages in different occasions where a lot of money was invested in those marriages and they did not last. That is to make you understand the vulnerability of money when it comes to the issue of marriage. Nobody lives without money. Money is a universal element and it goes everywhere, but it cannot be the pillar on which marriage should be built. If a man is old enough and not strong enough to relate with a woman, she doesn't have the same mindset with a woman, she does not belong to the woman's dispensation, she does not know how to interact as the woman interacts, I bet you no matter how much money the man has, that girl will use that money as a means to satisfy her desires. The man will just be like an ATM card where the girl chooses to withdraw money and then go and do what satisfies her. One other dangerous thing is that when you see women who have such opportunities, they will always collect that money to meet men who think like them, reason like them, behave like them, interact like them, socialize like them. And the whole marriage will be full of deception, betrayal, and all kinds of lies. And that girl will use that man as a destiny helper. A man came from America to get married to a lady in my church. That is 2013. You know what the lady told me? That the man is not handsome, he doesn't look good, that I'm going to marry him. I said, why? I said, because he's a destiny helper. There are men in marriages, they are not husbands. They are considered as destiny helpers. Most of these young girls will fondle into the hands of elderly persons. They use those men, first of all, to achieve their goals. Some of them are in school, they have not fulfilled their education. Nobody is there to sponsor them. That man becomes a sponsor. Are you a husband or a sponsor? Number two, when the girl gets a degree and she wants to get a befitting job, she looks at your status, your reputation, she uses your reputation and your personality to find a job. Are you a husband or a destiny helper? In the first place, you are a sponsor. Secondly, you are a destiny helper. People may brand you husband, but in the actual sense, in the eye of that woman, you are not a husband. Thirdly, the girl may want to go out of this country and does not have a means to go out of the country. You, the elderly person, who have the means and the opportunity, she uses you as a visa. Are you a visa, a sponsor, or a destiny helper, or a husband? So the men who are in homes with ladies may be called by outsiders as husbands, but the women actually know what they call those men. Some call them sponsors, others call them visas, others call them destiny helpers. I'm asking you, watching this program now, are you a destiny helper to that girl? Are you a sponsor, or are you a visa to that girl? There are so many descriptions to the persons who occupy homes in the name of husbands, which are not actually husbands. Going on the other side, for women who are old enough, you could be a ladder to the guy's next level. Yes, you could be a ladder to the guy's next level. People may see you as a wife, but you are a ladder. That guy may be coming from a broke home. You could be called a wife, you could be a succorer. You've been sent to succor the family of that guy. The guy uses for the time being to get what he wants to get, establish a family, and then creates one big problem, and then suddenly say there is a divorce. We couldn't stay any longer because what he wanted to use it to do, he has accomplished it. Remember, you are getting older, and the more you go older, the more he gets matured. When he gets matured, he will get married. When you get older, you wear out. So let us be very technical and very, very tactical as we handle this issue concerning age groups. As much as we know that there are some cases, exceptional cases, where a man can be very, very old and truly love the woman loves her, and she's able to adapt to the man's generation, because there are people who can adapt. A woman can choose to drop her generational mentality of interacting, socializing, and choose to adapt to the man's system. The man takes her to traditional meetings, she's there. The man takes her to so and so functions, she's there. She operates according to the modus operandi of the man. But how many? Over 100, at least 15%. On the other hand, there is a young man who can genuinely love a woman. And you see, there is this thing we have as tradition, they call betrothal. A young girl from birth is given a husband. The father has begun to collect things from the person in question, collect. The girl grows up. By the time the girl is 15 years old, the man she wants to get married to is 50 years old. And the girl is compared because they have been eating the man's money for a very long time. And now the girl is full and bound to one other person.
Payback time.
It's payback time. Such a girl goes into a house like that under pressure, she would definitely find satisfaction somewhere else. And this is where the trouble is. For instance, I will tell you that Jacob saw Rachel as a young girl wanted to marry. And then suddenly they took the elder sister and each group that he did not belong to. He got married to the lady. But what happened? He still yearned for Rachel. And this is the reason why some people will always have extramarital affairs. A lot of these things contribute to extramarital affairs and the elimination of people. Girls will kill an elderly person just to inherit his wealth. Some girls get married to a man just to accept that the man should put their name in his will. Once the man puts their name in his will as the next of kin,
they start praying.
Definitely, they start working their means to eliminate that individual.
They start praying and fasting.
A girl came from, I'm talking experiences. A girl told me, sent me a picture. An 82-year-old man wanted to marry her in Spain. She left this country, traveled to Spain. She was 28 years old. An 82-year-old man to marry the girl. I asked her that, what do you want to do with this father? She said, he will soon die. He will soon die. So I want him to die and transfer his wealth to me.
Continue to inspire Apostle Ambe. Apostle, may God bless you abundantly. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Leo and Apostle Ambe. Please, sir, is there a marriage in the Bible that ended up in a divorce? Greetings from Pa Kando in Bamenda. Congratulations to my daughter, Alexine Mani, and her old mother, Paul. Okay. Good evening, all in the studio. Apostle Ambe, I enjoy the way you speak with so many references. Those men who think their money can do everything should listen. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I like the discussion topic because it's educative. I think getting married to someone older than you do around 10 years is a problem because that man will want you to behave mature like him. That is higher expectations, which will destroy the marriage. Natalie is writing from Yaoundé. I also want to ask if getting married to someone older than you for 10 years is okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu and your wonderful panelists. Very interesting topic. I suggest this debate be replayed on weekends so our young people and even parents can learn. Ngala Victor is writing from Bamenda. Mr. Liu, please a question to the lady by you on the short story about the lady who liked clubbing. I wanted to ask if marriage is all about age or happiness and love. Okay. She will answer you. Just give her 1 minute. Good evening. Most men who marry women who are older than them are lazy men. Are they really lazy? You have to work, go in the house. Good evening, sir. Very educative, practical program. Thanks. Can I have Apostle Ambe's number? Good evening, sir. Very educative program. Okay. Vivian is writing from Bomenda. Good evening to you, Vivian. Now, some questions came in. Marriage, is it all about, you got the question?
Yeah, I got the question. Is it about the age or the satisfaction or love and...
Well, we said here that one day that marriage is also for company now.
It's about the company and the likes.
Today
because
we are only focusing on some...
One thing about marriage is that you tend to sacrifice self for the happiness of your spouse. Okay, you get married, you're getting married to somebody not for him to make you happy. The intent about marriage, I always tell young people, the intention of getting married to somebody. Some ladies, some guys, some people always want to get married in their mind. They're like, okay, I want to get married to this man because I want him to make me happy. I want him to give me all I want, and vice versa. But it's always important to go with the mentality of, I want to make this person happy. If you're getting married because you want to make your spouse happy, we have common understanding about it. You want to make me happy. I want to make you happy. We'll find common grounds to make everybody happy. At the end of the day, we are going to have a very successful marriage. But if that kind of marriage where I only wait, that, okay, you have to make me happy. The day you can't make me happy, it becomes a problem. And that's the reason why, in this case, like he's asking that question, this lady, that sacrificial part did not come up in her mind as in, okay, I'm married to this man. In as much as he doesn't like my lifestyle, I, as the woman who have accepted to live with him, I should accept his likes, and I stay by him as the wife because I initially accepted this marriage. It's a do or die affair. You know, it's a process. So I have to go along with him in that process. He doesn't like it. Or the man would have like, okay, Since my wife likes clubbing, let me once in a while, let me sacrifice, take her there and make her feel loved, make her feel comfortable. So that's sacrificial aspect. So it's about satisfying each other, creating mutual grounds where everybody feels satisfied, everybody feels loved, and what is best for the family. In which case, if the man sees that, okay, we can't go to the club because of these reasons, or the woman like, okay, we must go, it's to sit, talk, communicate, and come to an understanding. Because without that understanding, you cannot have a successful marriage. You always think aside, you always think of, and I think of, especially for the fact, in this case, where the age difference is so wide. I'm thinking Android, you're thinking, you're thinking something else. You're thinking Choronko, what we commonly call. I'm thinking Android. I'm thinking, you know, I'm thinking Facebook. You're thinking no writing letters. That is it. So if you have to succeed in that kind of and make marriage and fulfill the purpose of marriage, then you must come to a common ground. You must sit and dialogue.
Good evening, Mr. Liu. What about young men who get to US and get married to old women for some time to facilitate their papers? Is it wrong to? Carol writing from Lebialem. Yeah, but that is not for love now. You already said that they want to get papers. Good evening, Mr. Liu. It's Jima writing from Amanda. I think age has to do with understanding. People should decide having their mindset on the changes that will occur in the near future and the level of tolerance. I personally think Adam was created before Eve. Hence, one is older than the other. It's rather sad people marry and date people older than their ancestors because of wealth or other selfish reasons. I think age difference relationship can work, but the probability of having a lot of issues is higher. Okay, Apostle will soon come in, the love doctor, to talk about the capacity for such marriages to last. Good evening in the studio. Please, Apostle Ambe are just speaking on the perspective of Christian women, because there are other denominations, ethnic groups that are very respectful and submissive to their husbands. Apostle Ambe, carry out more research, because I stand to be corrected. Once a woman is against polygamy, suspect that woman. Mo Salah is writing from Gembu in Nigeria. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Special greetings to the wonderful panelists. What a great topic. Keep up the good work. Peter writing from Limbe. Good evening to you, Peter. Pastor, may God increase your wisdom. Good evening, sir. I am Koza, writing from Limbe. Okay. Oops. It's Apostle Ambe, I hear you very well. Delphine C. Awa is writing from South Africa. Good evening to you. Yes, such people, they have come to you, most of them are married, but you also have known many such relationships. Do they actually last?
The vast differences. Well, honestly, there are some that last due to high degree of tolerance as well. Okay. Due to societal pressure, some. Okay, for example, as a counselor, there are many relationships that people think they're doing well, that they open up, but to us, because for political reasons, to keep positions in church. For example, I have a pastor opening up to me. This is close to 9 years. He has not tasted his wife's food. They have not slept on the same bed. 9 years, a GO. They are living in the same house. They come to church. People don't know that. This is something he opened. He's an elderly man. In fact, I was shocked the day he opened to me, and he opened up to me. He was like, he has seen the grace of God as a counselor. He was open. He was like 9 years. He has not tasted his wife's food. He says he only takes care of the children. They have about 3 kids or so. I was talking to a woman who came to me the other day and said, this is 23 years. She has not made love today. Husband, 23. 23 years. They are staying together. I'm not exaggerating. 23 years. So now, look at these things. So some of them might look like they are walking outside, but they are struggling. Some of them have also no relationship. Even minus age difference, relationship will always go through ups and downs. Now, the time is almost over. My personal advice I give, let me say this. I want to put this out here. Call me the love doctor, whatever, but hear this, women. biology is not fair to women. I always say this, and I'm saying it again. Biology is not fair to women. You see, the truth is, a young boy can give birth to 3 children, impregnate a woman now and leaves that place, gives birth to even 3 children, it will not show on his body. A woman cannot give birth and it does not show one way or the other. That's also one of the reasons why women cannot compete with men in the high sense career-wise. Because if 2 people, man and woman, stand on certain places, due to the biological challenges, the system will prefer the man, not because of anything, but because if that woman goes home today and husband says, will be born, it becomes a problem to the company. 9 months that you don't even know how it's going to happen. Secondly, many people will tell you this. I have so many of my friends, so many of my age mates that will tell you, I no fit respect boy in my age. This is a mindset. And many girls have that. They will tell you, I the craze, me in a age mate self. You see, now when that love don't really knock the head to they go off before this. You see, so generally it's very difficult. Guys will find it difficult, and a guy interprets but submission as love. So this is the reason why when we encourage, we are not here to put a law. We encourage 5, 7, 4 years, 10 years, even 2, 3. But sometimes a lady just looks at you and respects you because of the age difference. I know girls are the craze. Some girls cannot help but disrespect people that they are their age mates or less. Of course, there are exceptions, but here we are talking about generalities, and of course, there are some exceptions. So I want to put these 2 things into perspective, and I plead that, for example, I've seen, this is a true story, where a woman was in the house, and they entered and they met her and asked, I beg you, picking their house. It was somebody's wife. They were asking whether he picking their house. Yes, they were asking the wife, say, picking their house. Now, because of the way, true story.
Yeah, but then there are some men who are naturally also very tiny.
Yes, no, we are not refusing. That is why. This is why all of these things come into play. But at the end of the day, based on our educating the process,
they are picking their house.
Yeah. But based on educating the public, and we have seen that you marry because you have a purpose. For example, you see a lot of guys, they would date fair girls or some kind of girls, then they date them not to marry. You compare that girl they have married to all the girls they used to date, and you ask, what happened? It's because they found something that was beyond just the physical. So at the end of the day, I am not here to sit on the judgment seat. And I want us to refrain from telling people, oh, that one is a gigolo, oh, that one is a this. But know this today, people will not help it. We might contain ourselves. Apostle Ambe might be mature enough not to make the comment, but you will not stop people in the demo from making the comment. And this is what you should know, that one of the consequences of marriage who is too old is that people must talk. You will not stop them. So be sure that you are also willing to make it, because you will not come on this platform and tell people not to talk. They will talk. We all have been some people's nightmare because we analyze things. Okay. People will talk. Be sure that that's what you want, and that is the only thing that will keep you on track.
Good evening, Mr. Liu. I love the topic for today. Most marriages that ends in divorce are couples of the same age. Nobody knows above the other. No respect, and woman quickly weighs out because of giving birth to children, and the man of that same age will not love that woman again. Okay. Yes, that is also point to consider. Good evening, panelists. I'm just coming in on how I wish I could get a rebroadcast of it. Thanks. Bashiru is writing from Way Village, that is in Fungam subdivision, Menchum division. Good evening to you, Bashiru. Please, Mr. Liu, I suggest this debate replay on weekends so that, okay, can benefit. Your topic is very inspiring. A man should not go older than a lady more than 10 years. Even in the scriptures, it shows that after 10 years is another generation. Marriage is for the 2 persons to have a unique mindset and flow together, not really and fulfill divine plan for themselves. Please, we have noted that all the marriage we have ever had has no formula. It's have only divine intervention and guidance. Apostle Kevin Asu, writing from Compina. Good evening to you, Apostle. Good evening, Mr. Leo. It's such a pity a lot of people are getting into marriages with limited knowledge. People should learn to seek counseling with their partners before marriage. Counseling is is an eye-opener that will help to solve some of the precincts of marriage. Over time, a lot of things will change, but many have failed to look at the long term. Rather, all focus is geared on this short term. We need to wake up, Mr. Leo. Marriage is misery many are yet to accept. I've never and will never be in support of wide gap marriages. Why will you want to marry your grandfather or mother? For God's sake, how do you get the bond? Scott and Chani is writing from Bamenda. It is lawful. Love is blind, my brother. Good evening, Mr. Kum. I'm Maxwell from whom Apostle Ambe is indeed a genius. I respect his wisdom. Okay? Apostle Ambe, my question is not answered yet. Please, Pangando writing from Bamenda says, good evening, Mr. Kum and Apostle Ambe. Please, sir, is there a marriage in the Bible that ended up in divorce? Greetings from Pagando in Bamenda.
I don't know of any marriage in the Bible that ended in divorce.
Okay.
The Bible says God hates divorce.
Okay. We don't know whether they ended up together or they divorced though. But we know that is David now okay somebody's wife and
that's not divorce now. David killed Uriah, took his wife.
Took his wife. Very bad.
Very bad. Murder plus adultery.
Isalo, please, to the lady that you please help me with a guide. I am the second wife of my husband. He's 56 and I'm 25. When we got married, everything was okay, but 2 years back, he checks me a lot, but gives me less attention. He checks my phone, follows me to the market, and so on. Nash is writing from Kuma. Yes, but this is also one of the consequences we have failed to highlight. That is, either the man or the woman becomes a slave to the young, fine girl because all eyes are on her. No, but advise our sister. Second wife,
Yes, she accepted it, and that is the sacrifice, that's the price she should pay. That's why we said that from the onset. It looks like you're just going and everything is going to be heaven on earth and all of that because of what you thought you're standing to gain in that relationship or something. But know that most especially one thing we have noticed that these age men, they are most often than not, they control because they know that you're very young now. You're smart, you're beautiful.
There's a lot of insecurities for this age gap.
Yeah, insecurity sets in. He knows that the next minute you step outside, a young guy is going to corner you, and the moment like Apostle
Lefoh.
Not Apostle Lefoh, Apostle Alfred, like he always says here, when they cannot give it, maybe the man cannot give it well to the lady. I know that if she goes out there, she'll be fine.
But no,
she'll prefer to go out. So the man is so afraid. He doesn't want her to go and tell something outside that he cannot give it to her.
Even the girls sometimes, they are like, the way this man met me and took me, he has money. I know girls who say, who's your dinner? I should go for that place. Show me a hotel room. You know, they're afraid that you are out of there, you might be another girl. It both go both ways.
So the advice I will have to give her is that she has to, it's marriage now. It's marriage. But so she has to accept her husband stay in her marriage. If he controls her, okay. She was getting married to a man of that nature, and she has to accept it.
They could also meet a counselor now to tell the man that, please, pipe low now.
There are some issues that counselors cannot handle. One other thing I have to say is that most people come with already concluded issues to counselors, looking for their confirmation.
Very correct.
And if you do not confirm what they have brought, they look for the next counselor.
Yes.
That will tell them what they want to hear and not what they have to hear.
Yes.
And that's what the problem is. So such a person was already developed an attitude to pursue that. It's in fact, there is already an atmosphere of insecurity. Number two, there's a breach of trust. He doesn't trust that girl. And he is insecure around the girl. Considering the fact that the girl is still young, vibrant, agile, people are going to be attracted towards her. He has to develop such security. So what do you expect a counselor to tell such a person that will make him change his mind?
No, but me, I'll tell her to pray. No, God can help her.
Mr. Leo, is it everything God will want to answer? When you went, did you pray before getting into the relationship?
Let me come in here with an issue of prayer.
Yeah, Holy Spirit,
let me come in here.
Holy Spirit will
let me come here with an issue of prayer. Yes. God answers his will. He doesn't answer your desire.
So
it doesn't answer your wish. If it was greed that took you to that marriage, be ready to face the consequences of your decision.
Well, that sister needs advice. So
What? Are we not advising her like this? We are
Well,
I'm sending you Apostle Ambe's number. Apostle Ambe will talk with you. Maybe, Miss Fortivet. Good evening once more. I'm 23 years. Please, a rebroadcast will be very appreciated. We really love to recommend this program to a suitor of mine who is 42 years. I rejected him because of the wide age gap, but he still won't understand with me. Maybe this will be an eye-opener for him. This program is on my Media Prime Facebook page. Go there, copy the link, and share with him.
Tomorrow,
yes. Good evening, Mr. Liu and panelists. Please help me with the formula of marriage. I want marry. Emil, writing from Penka. Okay? Emil, pray. Go and read the Bible. The formula is inside. But I think getting married to someone who is far older than you is a matter of choice. Not necessarily mean that the girl or guy may have a secondary aim. Kosa Valerie from Douala. Dr. Ambe, I think I can't abide with you. Generally, where are ladies who don't love to get married to a man who is less than them? Her age. The message is not too clear. Can you write the message? Good evening, Mr. Liu. I love your program. What about a guy marrying a lady already having 2 kids? It's Henry, writing from New Bell, Douala. If you love her, my brother, and also factor the consequences. Yeah. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I love your program. All your panelists are talking sense. It's Mr. Mafai Herbert, writing from Lokpom in Douala. Good evening to you and everybody watching us from that part of the city of Douala. Lokpom is a nice neighborhood. Very calm, Apostle. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I am Desmond from Bamenda. It's not good for an old man to get married to a young child, okay? This one reads, in all the ages, same age group or wide age group, the foundation is very important. I believe love, refusal to do evil, being faithful, humility, respect, understanding, etc. Marriage will never end in divorce, okay?
All those things are not in one marriage. They don't exist in a marriage.
Okay.
All those things, they are not in one marriage. It's half that is there.
Good evening, Mr. Liu and the panelists. I'm enjoying your program. Abongwi is writing from Pendamboko. Good evening, Mr. Liu, to you all in the studio. I'm Fokala from Douala. I think love has no formula, and so to me, when 2 adults love themselves, age will not be anything but just a number. Good evening, Mr. Kum and the panelists. I love and encourage this program. Please, for Apostle Lefoh's number, please, can you guys just write to me after the program? I'll share their numbers with you. Good evening, sir. I'm Jukan Pius, writing from Lebialem. As for me, concerning the wide age gaps relationship, I think all depends on both mindset of both parties. If a man is older than a girl, the reverse is true, and if the love reigns in their home, I don't see any problem. All we want is understanding and love. People do still marry their age mates. At the end of the day, it doesn't go well. Age doesn't matter in relationship or opinion. Thanks very much. Good evening. I'm called Precious from Bamenda. I love the topic. Okay. This one says, about the lifestyle, the man should be able to accept the lady for who she is, not trying to change her for who she is. Based on the ages differences, the man should be more mature. Vera is writing from Bamenda. Unfortunately, we have to conclude at this stage of the program. Apostle Ambe, thank you for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Louis. It's always a joy to be here. Thank you, Cameroonians and all viewers, for your contributions so far.
Thank you to Apostle Lefoh for coming.
It's an honor, and I'm so glad to be here. And I just also want to use this opportunity to say that TLC 2022 has been launched, the Light Convention, the biggest youth exhibition in the nation. So if you know somebody who has any gift or talent or idea, music, dance, fashion, photography, whatever it is you want to showcase, the biggest platform, this is an opportunity. Send your submission so you can follow me, Lefoh Divine, on Facebook. Find out on Wisdom Foundation, the Facebook page. You can get more information. Even those who are wanting information, counseling from the Southwest, you can get to the number 67552 8266. 67552-8266. This is going to be a great event coming up in November, so let's meet.
Thank you to Mr. Mr. Fortington. Mr. Sanjis. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Leo. Thanks to all our televiewers for your contributions and for the success of this program tonight. We're coming back next week for more interesting topics. And one thing I will leave you with is that you should marry rightly. Married rightly. Young girls do not rush into marriage because of reasons other than wanting to be happy and comfortable and making a successful marriage out of it. Because when you get there, you will not find it easy. Married rightly. Love is good, but marriage is the eye opener. There's more to marriage than love.
Okay.
Thank you.
I want to end us with this information that Longla Comprehensive College, one of the biggest schools that the Northwest region can boast of, is enrolling, accepting students to be enrolled in that prestigious college. They are located in Bamenda Rendezvous. Before end of term, they still have openings in the grammar, commercial, technical sections, and this school has a track record of excellence, well-equipped library, up-to-date computer lab, excellent teachers, day and boarding facilities are available at Longla Comprehensive College. And to note that they need few more teachers. If you're a teacher in Bomenda, you can rush to Longla Comprehensive College. They are recruiting in building construction and electrical departments. So the guys at Longla, we congratulate them alongside other schools who are operating in the Northwest as well as the Southwest regions. We want to thank the production team of today's edition of the program, Eli and Desmond. We say we are grateful, and to you, Tabi, Tambe Bryant, who is supervising the work we do out here. Not forgetting you out there in Bamenda, Mrs. Asanji Yvette, who is the iron lady of this program. We hope the baby, Prime R baby, is doing so well. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.